Last week, the NFL announced their senior nominees for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. It fell through the cracks, and I never made a video on it. I don't know if you heard, but last week was a little crazy. With that said, I needed to make a video on it. Let's talk about it. Starting off with the quarterbacks, three names that stand out. Doug Williams, shout out, first African-American quarterback to start and win a Super Bowl. Jim Plunkett, two-time Super Bowl champion. He's not Hall of Fame-esque. The guy that really stands out, Ken Anderson, he is somebody that should be in Canton. He might be the best Bengals quarterback of all time. He does have that MVP. With that said, he's probably one of the least famous, and maybe I'm just showing my age there, but people probably would think of Joe Burrow, Andy Dalton, maybe Carson Palmer, and then definitely Boomer Esiason before they think of Ken Anderson. Ken Anderson might have been the best out of all of them. Joe Burrow is still Joe Burrow, though. Ken Anderson, though, he should be in the Hall of Famer. Moving on to running backs, a few different guys stand out here. Otis Anderson, I think he's the leading rusher for the Cardinals. Chuck Foreman with the Vikings. Ernest Biner, he was the Browns running back in the 80s. Yeah, when the Browns were good, but he fumbled, so infamous move there. Herschel Walker, we've started to hear his name more due to the Micah Parsons trade. He was the guy, just built like a rock. The guy that stands out, though, is Roger Craig. He should be in Canton. Multiple Super Bowls, one of the few running backs to have both the 1,000 rushing and receiving season. He's legit. Receivers, not a ton of guys that stand out. Billy White Shoes Johnson, he's there. Jay Novacek, that guy, he's fun to watch too. Todd Christensen, Jets tight end, I'm pretty sure. Mark Clayton also stands out, a wide receiver for Dan Marino in the 80s. Offensive linemen, Bruce Armstrong and Joe Jacoby are the two that really stand out to me. Joe Jacoby especially, I think, should be in Canton. Defensive line, we have a ton of them here, though. L.C. Greenwood, he should be in Canton. He is one of the few members of the 1970s Steel Curtain that aren't in. Both him and Andy Russell are guys that should be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. We also have Ed Too Tall Jones, Mark Gastineau, and Jim Marshall. All those guys, Hall of Fame, they should be in by now. Carl Banks for linebacker. Him and Cornelius Bennett stand out, but they're not really Hall of Fame as the Hall very good. Greg Lloyd, another Steeler. Clay Matthews Sr., good name recognition, but that shouldn't just get you in. Lester Hayes and Jack Tatum stand out for the DBs. None of the kicking specialists, and then special teams for Steve Tasker. He was Matthew Slater before Matthew Slater. I would like to see him get in, but probably not. So Ken Anderson, Roger Craig, L.C. Greenwood, Jim Marshall, Mark Gastineau, all those guys. Joe Jacoby, maybe. That's who I think all have good arguments. We're probably only going to see one at most get in.